To Papa.
Every universe has its rules, its monsters, and its secrets. But in the world of Stephen King, some secrets are so ancient and so terrifying that even the bravest readers hesitate to look too closely. And at the center of its mythology lies the most chilling force of all, the Deadlights. Those swirling cosmic beams of orange madness have haunted the fandom for decades, but Welcome to Derry, Episode 7, took things to a whole new level by unleashing their full destructive power on two major characters. Periwinkle, also known as Ingrid Kersh, and young Will Hanlon. Their encounters change everything we thought we knew about Pennywise, Derry's history, and the fate of the Hanlon family. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're diving deep into what the Deadlights actually are, why Episode 7 is one of the most lore-heavy chapters in the entire series, and what Ingrid and Will's exposure to its true form means for the finale and the future of the story. If you thought Pennywise was terrifying before, wait until you see what lies behind the clown.
Not my father.
Yes, I have.
What have you done with?
What exactly are the Deadlights? In Stephen King's mythology, the Deadlights represent the true form of it, far beyond the clown makeup, the monstrous transformations, or even the grotesque cosmic shapes hinted at in the books. They originate from the Macroverse, also known as the Todash Darkness, the place outside our universe, the void between worlds, where ancient primordial beings exist. The Deadlights aren't alive in a biological sense, nor are they energy as we normally understand it. They're its essence stripped of disguise, a swirling, writhing, radiant force of absolute malevolence that the human mind was never meant to witness. Anyone who sees them is instantly overwhelmed, frozen, mentally shattered, or outright killed. In the novel, even the briefest exposure can send someone into permanent insanity or trap their consciousness in a dimension of eternal fear. That's why the human brain interprets it as something familiar, like a clown. Pennywise is a mask, something our minds can process, but behind the mask, the Deadlights are always waiting. In It, 2017 and Chapter 2, 2019, they appear as three orbiting lights deep in Pennywise's throat, activated when it wants to immobilize or dominate a victim. Beverly Marsh experiences them in the sewers and becomes suspended in midair like a lifeless puppet. Richie Tozier sees them decades later and becomes helpless again. And in the 1990 miniseries, Audra Denbrough falls into a coma after exposure, her mind basically severed from reality until Bill manages to shock her awake. The Deadlights don't work the same way every time. Sometimes they kill instantly, sometimes they leave a person catatonic, sometimes they corrupt, manipulate, or alter a person mentally, and in some cases, especially in Welcome to Derry, they seem to mark a victim, leaving a trace of its influence behind. The Deadlights across the Stephen King multiverse. What makes the Deadlights even more terrifying is that they aren't just confined to the world of It. They appear in the Dark Tower series, heavily implying that its species, or its kind of cosmic entity, exists in multiple universes as agents of chaos. They're referenced in Insomnia, later, and hinted in other King works that deal with the Todash space. Everything circles back to the idea that It is not just a creature in Derry, but a being that predates Earth's creation, drifting between worlds, feeding on fear, and occasionally manifesting wherever the conditions are right. In short, the Deadlights aren't just another power. They are It, the real It.
Baby girl!
Stop it!
Welcome to Derry's adaptation of the Deadlights. The show puts its own spin on what happens when victims encounter the Deadlights. Instead of instant death, the Deadlights create a trance-like state where victims float, freeze, or mentally dissociate. Ingrid Kersh and young Will Hanlon become the latest victims, but their outcomes are very different, and that difference might be crucial to the finale. Before Episode 7, the Deadlights were mostly a background thread in the series. Pennywise manipulated characters, fed on fear, and influenced Derry, but he didn't reveal his true form often. Episode 7 changes everything. The Black Spot fire, the military's involvement, and the chaos tearing through Derry all push it into revealing the Deadlights twice in one episode, making it the deadliest installment yet.
I ate him.
Ingrid Kersh, Periwinkle finally faces the truth. Ingrid's story is easily one of the most tragic arcs the show has introduced. Raised in the circus, she believed her father, Bob Gray, was a loving caretaker who performed as a clown. She adored him, idolized him, and thought she was destined to follow in his footsteps. But Bob Gray wasn't Bob Gray. It was it in a human costume, a temporary skin to lure victims and blend into the world. For Ingrid, this wasn't just the loss of a father. It was the realization that her entire identity was built on a lie. Throughout episodes 6 and 7, Ingrid clings to the delusion that Bob is still inside Pennywise somewhere, buried beneath the layers of cosmic evil. Pennywise exploits this emotional vulnerability, using her to lure in victims from Juniper Hill. She becomes a willing servant, convinced she's helping her father rise again. But when the black spot burns and the violence spirals out of control, Ingrid expects her loyalty to be rewarded. Instead, Pennywise kills her husband without hesitation, revealing that Ingrid was never special, just another pawn. When Pennywise announces he's going into hibernation and effectively abandoning her, it destroys whatever remaining illusion she had. Her breakdown is the first time she sees the truth. The entity wearing her father's face is not him and never was. That's when Pennywise opens his head, revealing the Deadlights in full force. For the first time, Ingrid stares directly at its true form, and it breaks her. Her eyes turn milky. Her voice collapses. She floats helplessly like every victim before her. But unlike Beverly, Richie, or Audra, Ingrid does not come back the same. When she's seen later on a stretcher, she's awake, but the look on her face is not Ingrid. There's something predatory in her eyes, something hollow and corrupted. It's as if the Deadlights didn't just stun her, they rewired her, pulled something out of her mind, and replaced it with something else. In It Chapter 2, Pennywise takes the form of an older Ingrid, implying that Ingrid eventually survives into adulthood. But does the real Ingrid survive, or is she just a shell? Episode 7 hints strongly that she may no longer be fully human, either driven insane or psychically imprinted by the Deadlights. She may end up in Juniper Hill again, but this time as a patient, wandering the halls haunted by the cosmic truth she was never meant to see. Periwinkle's transformation might be the saddest fate in the series, a woman who only wanted to reconnect with her father, manipulated by an ancient entity and eventually broken by the truth.
Who are you?
I am Pennywise.
Pennywise's hibernation and why it ends early. After the chaos of the Black Spot fire, Pennywise prepares to enter its 27-year cycle of hibernation. This lines up with the mythology: massive feeding event, emotional suffering, then sleep. The Shakopiwa tribe calls this the augury, the moment Pennywise replenishes enough spiritual and emotional energy to disappear beneath Derry. But this time, something changes. General Shaw reveals earlier that the U.S. military knows Pennywise exists and has been studying those mysterious pillars that keep it trapped. Their goal is not to destroy or contain Pennywise, but to weaponize it, harnessing the Deadlights as a Cold War superweapon. When Dick Halloran finds one of the 13 binding pillars, Shaw's forces intervene and remove it from the ground. This action doesn't just weaken the prison keeping Pennywise dormant, it destroys it. And with the pillar gone, Pennywise awakens early. This forced awakening is catastrophic for Derry and leads directly to the second major Deadlight attack of the episode. Will Hanlon, Pennywise's youngest Deadlight victim. Will Hanlon, father of future loser Mike Hanlon, has always been a key figure in Derry's history. Fans know he survives into adulthood, raises a family, and eventually passes down his knowledge about the creature that haunts their town. So his safety seems guaranteed, until episode 7 pulls the rug out from under everyone.
After it wakes prematurely, it doesn't go hunting for the military or for adult characters. It goes straight to Will. Pennywise appears in his kitchen, monstrous and enraged, and unleashes the Deadlights on him. Will is lifted, frozen, his eyes hollowed by that impossible glow. The moment echoes Beverly's trance and Richie's paralysis, but the emotional stakes are higher. Will is still a child, alone and defenseless. The big question the show leaves hanging is, what does this exposure do to him? We know Will lives, but Welcome to Derry suggests he might not come out of this unscathed. The Deadlights can leave scars, psychic trauma, memory fractures, visions, nightmares, or even a subconscious connection to Pennywise. In Stephen King's lore, some survivors carry glimpses of the Deadlights with them for life, buried deep but always haunting. Will may recover physically, but mentally the Deadlights could mark him forever. This could even explain why Mike Hanlon grows up to be the only loser who stays behind in Derry, why his family had such a deep, terrifying awareness of the creature long before the other members ever returned. Will's encounter may be the spark that shapes the entire Hanlon legacy. So what happens next? Both Ingrid and Will have looked into the Deadlights, but their fates seem radically different. Ingrid appears mentally corrupted, possibly permanently broken, possibly touched by the Deadlights in ways the show hasn't fully revealed. Will, on the other hand, might survive physically but could carry psychic echoes into adulthood that affect his family and the future battle against Pennywise. Episode 7 doesn't just use the Deadlights as a horror effect. It uses them as a turning point. Pennywise is awake early. Derry is destabilizing. The barriers containing it are breaking down. And the victims exposed to the Deadlights may soon play crucial roles in the finale. Whatever Winterfire brings next week, one thing is certain. Once the Deadlights touch you, nothing in your life, your mind, or your soul is ever the same again.
Hello, Vicky. What's the matter?
Our nerdy thoughts. And that's the terrifying truth behind the Deadlights and what really happened to Ingrid Kersh and young Will Hanlon. Welcome to Derry episode 7 didn't just give us scares, it reshaped the entire mythology of it, expanded the cosmic horror behind Pennywise, and set the stage for a finale that could permanently change how we view the Hanlon family, Periwinkle's fate, and the deeper lore hiding beneath Derry streets. If the Deadlights are its purest form, then we've only seen the beginning of what this creature is truly capable of. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the It universe, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment with your theories for the season finale, and let me know which part of the Deadlights lore shocked you the most. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. There's a whole Macroverse of mysteries we're exploring together. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out at The Nerdy Show, and as always, stay curious, stay brave, and beware of anything that smiles too wide.
Heck, I'll laugh anyway.